right in this area, okay? So that is why they have issued a tornado warning. We are under a forewarned weather alert all afternoon and probably going to have to go all the way through 10 p.m. this evening. Okay, you saw the map jump. We just got an update. A new scan just came in. And again, I don't see any, let me clear that out of there. I don't see any big areas of circulation. Yes, it is very broad. I do see circulation in this area, but it's not very, very tight. Nothing like what we saw back on March 3rd, okay, here in Nashville area. But we are seeing at least some rotation. Let me go back in time, okay? You'll see this map jump around. What I'd like to do with the viewers is I'd like to go back in time about 20 minutes ago, and so we can kind of watch the progress of this storm as it moves through the area, and then we can see if we can't not find any spots of circulation or anything that jumps out at us, okay? So again, it looks like very, very broad rotation in this area right now. But still, if you are in the Lexington, Wildersville area, even all the way out towards Parsons, Perryville, and Decaturville, all of you folks are inside of this tornado warning right now. So please be getting to your safe spot immediately. Let's hop away from this tornado warning for just a few seconds. I do want to show you what's going on around the rest of Middle Tennessee. A very large line of severe storms working through right now with a lot of deadly lightning as well. We've got about 250 lightning strikes here just in the past 15 minutes. So super electrical storms working through right now. Pretty much this whole line is either severe thunderstorm warned with a couple of sections inside of this line that are tornado warned. We were just talking about that. We're going to go back to that here in just a second. I do want to point out that folks around Waverly, New Johnsonville, out towards Camden getting hit with some very hard rainfall right now and probably some very gusty winds. Let's see if we can measure some of these wind speeds in here. Now, these wind speeds are pretty high up in the atmosphere, so they may not necessarily be at the surface, but this line has shown signs of damaging winds up to around 50 to 60 miles an hour. Folks back towards Henry County, multiple reports. Power lines down, trees down, that sort of thing. So we are certainly dealing with some very gusty winds right now. So what we're going to watch for on this line, we're going to keep checking on this line to see if we can find any little notches right in here, okay? So these types of systems are more indicative of straight line wind damage and damaging winds, but they're also capable of little micro spin up tornadoes. So we'll watch for that as well. And again, that's why we're dealing with that tornado warning down towards the south and the west. Let's actually get back to that now, okay? Folks in Lexington, this is right on top of you. Let me switch back over and look at the rotation. And yeah, there's just some broad rotation that is pretty much directly over Lexington right now. So right in this area that I've highlighted here, I'll keep that circle on. And this map may get a little messy, so let me kind of clean it up a little bit. I'm going to turn off the polygons for the warnings and watches. That may help you out a little bit. And let me go ahead and just clear the circle out as well. Lexington, Pleasant Hill, Stringtown, if you're around Henson Springs, Warrens, Bluff, Chesterfield. This rotation is right on top of you, okay? So you need to be in your safe spot immediately. Lowest level of your home or an interior bathroom will do just fine. That will be great. Grab some pillows off the bed too when you're making your way that direction, just so you have something to kind of protect you and to put over your head. Let's see here. Let's just kind of restart real quick. Let me go back to our home view. And again, most of Middle Tennessee is quiet right now. Okay, so that includes areas like Columbia, Lawrenceburg, down through Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Nashville. Looks like we're starting to see a little bit of rain roll into that area. So let me track that real quick. Just want to give folks a heads up there in the Davidson and Cheatham County area because we are starting to see some showers and some storms working on through. So out towards Mount Pleasant, very heavy rainfall, probably some small-sized hail as well. A lot of lightning, though. My goodness, 50 strikes in this view here in the last little bit. Nothing is warned on what's going on in Cheatham County and what's moving into Davidson County right now. Big, heavy rain is going to move through here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, but right now that portion of the storm, of this line, is not warned, okay? The only thing we're really dealing with tornado-wise is this tornado warning that's down towards the south for folks there in, Henderson County and Decatur County. But then the rest of this line all the way up into Kentucky is severe thunderstorm warned, okay? So let's actually move up towards Kentucky real quick. I don't want to neglect our friends up there. Right now, folks there in, what is that, Trigg County? Southern Trigg County dealing with some very heavy rainfall. Katie's is fine. You're just dealing with some moderate rainfall, but some probably hearing some loud thunder in the area. But you got some very heavy rain in this area out towards Dover. There in Stewart County, very, very heavy rainfall. My goodness. I mean, it is really coming down. A lot of lightning. And let's just check on the winds in this area real quick. Let's see here, 50, 70, 90. That's way up there in the atmosphere. But eventually, maybe some of these winds, these strong winds, are going to make it to the surface and they're going to fan out. So we could be dealing with damaging wind gusts out of this portion of the line. I would not put it past this portion of the line, because this portion of the line really put down some strong wind in Henry County, just to the west, okay? So certainly going to be dealing with some heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and more than likely some very, very strong winds in this area. Again, I want to just keep a close eye on what's going out towards the Hurricane Mills area. This little notch right in here, I'm just going to keep a close eye. Nothing's going on with it right now, but I am just kind of curious if we'll see anything kind of become of that. So you see this black right here just north of Waverly? Incredibly heavy rainfall in this area. And as far as winds go, it's got to be at least 60 or 70. There you go. Yep, 60, 70, maybe almost 80 miles an hour. Not saying that we're dealing with 80-mile-per-hour winds at the surface, but the radar is seeing elevated gusty winds. So that could be working down towards the surface. In addition to the gusty winds in Waverly, around Waverly, very heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and then let's see what the hail looks like. And probably some good-sized hail. Yeah, probably some really good-sized hail. Let's see what our storm threats are showing. So black, wow, 2-inch sized hail. My goodness. That is some big hail. That's beefy hail, if you will. So again, this is around Waverly there in Humphreys County, dealing with 1 to maybe 2-inch sized hail, golf ball sized hail, lime sized, if you will, whatever you want to say, but golf ball, lime size around that area. Man, that is some wild hail. That could be very, very damaging. Okay, let's go back down to this tornado warning. If we got this goes until, excuse me, let me just clean the map up again. There's a lot going on in the area right now, so we got to kind of keep cleaning this map up to make sure it's legible. Tornado warning goes until 4:15, so we still got about another 30 minutes on this tornado warning. And again, this is for Henderson and Decatur counties. Let me just pause for one hot second. I am also monitoring the National Weather Service chat room, and they're getting all the latest reports from the emergency management people, law enforcement. Anytime there's damage or anything like that, usually that information gets divvied up to the National Weather Service, which then they put it out to all the meteorologists in the area, so we can kind of go back and look at that. So just bear with me for one hot second. Let me just read over this real quick. Excuse me. Damage winds up to 80 miles an hour in Southern and Stewart, Houston counties. Okay, so could be wind speeds up to around 80 miles an hour in Southern Stewart and Houston counties. So let's check on that in just a second. I just want to stay with this tornado warning real quick. Again, this goes for about another 30 minutes. I want to keep checking on the rotation, and man, it is really, really broad, which is good. That's great. I do not want to see tight rotation. We do not want to see that. But right now, things look very, very broad, but they're seeing rotation. So that's why they have this tornado warning in place, and it's for good reason too, folks. So again, Lexington, this rotation is still right over you, moving through right now. Folks in Parsons, Perryville, and Decaturville, this is going to be working right over you here in the next couple of minutes. You're probably starting to see some fat raindrops in Parsons, maybe Decaturville as well. Perryville, just some sprinkles, but some very heavy rainfall is 10 miles away from you. So again, I don't want to be in the area or outside in this area here for at least the next hour, because there's a lot of heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and some lightning kind of working on through. Let's see here. Let's look at the hail. Okay, so we got hail in the area, that's for sure. Let's see how what size this is. This is probably around an inch. Okay, so we got an inch-sized hail around Lexington, Parsons, Perryville, Decaturville. And again, this is where we have this tornado warning. Let's see here. So we're going to keep checking in with the rotation detector. That's probably, I would say, one of our better tools here, the best tool that we have when it comes to detecting rotation. Let me just pan out of this real quick to look at our debris detector to see if we have any areas of debris. This blue, I believe that is detecting some hail. So it is showing signs of that. So we're likely getting some good sized hail there in Henderson and Decatur counties. All right. So switching back over again, it looks like they shaved off a little bit of that tornado warning, which no longer includes Lexington. So that is good, but you're still under a severe thunderstorm warning. And with winds as gusty as they have been, I still want you to treat all of the severe thunderstorm warnings that come out today just like tornado warnings, okay? They're the same thing to me today because of how gusty these winds are and how damaging these winds are. Treat them just like a tornado warning. You got to get to that safe spot and grab your pillows, grab a baseball helmet if you got something like that, and then just kind of hunker down for a little bit and just let this kind of blow on through. Let me check back in with the weather service for just a second. We are continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Houston, Montgomery, and Stewart counties until 4. Okay, so another 15 minutes or so. We are going to continue the tornado warning for Decatur and Henderson counties, and that is going until, it looks like 4:15 still. Let's see here. It says capable of producing a tornado was located near Decaturville. Or 13 miles southeast of Lexington, moving at about 70 to 75 miles an hour. So again, it's racing through the area. When you have storms that are moving this quick, around 70 to 75 miles an hour, there's really not a whole lot of time to react. All right, so if you are out ahead of this line, you need to be instant. When you get that warning, if your county is included in that warning, your area is included in that warning, with these storms kind of breezing through so quick, you're not going to have a whole lot of time to kind of get to your safe spot. So again, please pay close attention to this today. We've got some very strong storms in the area, and this is going to last for several more hours. So I'm going to be right here with you. We're going to work through it together. But again, just to kind of refresh here, this is our main event for today. Big line of showers and storms extending into Kentucky, all the way down towards the southern state line here in Tennessee. Right now, we've got a handful or so of severe thunderstorm warnings, and then we've got a lonely tornado warning that is in Henderson and Decatur counties. That goes until 4:15. Right now, there are no warnings for Davidson, Rutherford, Williamson, Wilson, Robertson, Sumner counties at the moment. But as this line continues to move towards the east, without a doubt, we are going to get all of the counties I just listed, Davidson, Rutherford, Wilson, Williamson, inside of a severe thunderstorm warning, if not here in the next 20 minutes, more than likely here in the next hour. Okay? We have a newscast coming up at 5 o'clock, and judging by how this line looks now, I may be with you all the way until 5 o'clock later this evening. So it's only 3:50 now. And we have several severe thunderstorm warnings and a tornado warning here that goes until 4:15. So let's dive back into that. It's been a couple of minutes, so we've got some new scans on the radar. So we'll see if we can find any new information. Parsons, you're getting just blasted with heavy rain. Decaturville, you're like 50-50. The west side of town's getting really hit with some rain. East side of town's really starting to pick up on the rain. And the same goes for Perryville. Let me switch back over and let me look at my rotation detector. And it's very broad, but it looks like the rotation's pretty much on or just to the west of Decaturville. So if you know where Dixie Mills, Garrett, Middleburg, and Mount Tabor, or Tabor, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but that's kind of where the general area of the broad circulation is right now, okay? So basically, if you are anywhere around Decaturville, get to your safe spot, just to be safe, just to hop in. Again, the rotation's very broad, but still, there's enough there that they issued a tornado warning, so we're going to treat this with the most seriousness that we can get on it, okay? Let me bounce out of this. I want to keep moving up because, let's see here, Houston, Humphreys County line. Let's see here. Let's go up to there. So, it looks like there might be some rotation in here as well. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so like right around Adams Crossroads. So Spring Valley, Silvertop. Let me get this lightning out of here. It's kind of distracting. So Silvertop, Spring Valley, out towards Adams Crossroads, Martha's Chapel. It looks like there's at least maybe there's also some broad rotation right in this area. We do not have a tornado warning on it yet, but that is something we're going to keep checking back with, okay? In the meantime, still some very gusty winds out towards Adams Crossroads. Okay, so folks in Van Leer, Charlotte, Tennessee City, Dixon, Burns, you are not dealing with the rain right now, but you will here in the next, oh, that was a bad line, in the next 10 minutes or less. So let's draw this out. East at about 50 miles an hour. 38, we'll just, let me change that because that's not going to be accurate for you. Speed up to 50. There we go. So Tennessee City here in 2 to 3 minutes. Van Leer, same thing. Folks in Dixon around the Dixon County High School a little after 4 p.m. Folks there in Charlotte, Burns, 4:10 or so. White Bluff, Clay Lick, Kingston Springs, and Harpeth High School area about 4:15, 4:20. This will be in your neck of the woods, okay? So let's keep going. Our radar is showing possibly a little circulation up there in eastern Stewart County, maybe moving into Montgomery County, right around Cumberland City. So this doesn't look to be overly impressive to me right now, so we'll keep checking back in with it. Let's go back down to our tornado warning and look at that again. So sticking with the rotation detector, again, super broad, very broad. Let's see here. Let me just check with the Weather Service one more time. Let's see here. Reports of trees down. Half of the county. Let's see here. What county is that, though? Approximately 1,000 without power. 3/4-inch hail reported 3 miles west of Springfield at 3 Fork near Highway 49. Let's see here. We are going to get a new severe thunderstorm warning for Hickman, Dixon, Williamson. So let's check in on that real quick. Oops. So, what did I say? Hickman, Dixon, Williamson. Hickman, Dixon, Williamson. So that is going to be for this portion of the line right here. So let me go ahead and draw a track on this portion of the line. We'll start this just north of Dixon and go all the way down towards Centerville. East at about 50. There you go. So when they do issue this extension on the severe thunderstorm warning, this is going to be in these areas here in the next little bit. Let me get out of the way a little for you. Dixon around 4:01, so that's 5 or 6 minutes from now. Folks around Charlotte and Burns around 4:05. This will be near you, Bon Aqua, Wrigley, about 4:05, 4:10. Folks down towards Creekwood High School and Hickman County High School, if you know where those are, good reference spots, for 4:08, 4:10. We'll just call it 4:10, that this portion of the line will start to move into your area. Okay, there we go. So I know this is a mess, but this is the new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see if we can't clean it up just a little bit. So right, this one. So that's the one they just issued, and it's basically just an extension. Remember just a few minutes ago, I was saying how this whole line's more than likely going to stay thunderstorm warned all the way through the Interstate 65 corridor. Without a doubt, it's going to. So let's go back down here and check on this tornado warning. Let's see here. Still very broad rotation. In fact, nothing really looks impressive to me at all, so that is certainly some good news. Yeah, very, very broad. Sort of surprised it's still there. But again, this goes until 4:15, so we still have 15 more minutes on it. So we'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do with this here in the next little bit. But right now, the way I see it is it's very broad rotation. There is rotation in the area, which is why that tornado warning hasn't been allowed to expire yet. But it's very broad. So again, that's good news. Don't mistake that for bad news. That's great news that it's very broad rotation. We don't want tight rotation at all, because that means that we're dealing with tornadoes. I don't want to be dealing with tornadoes today, that's for sure. Let's see here. Let's bounce back out. Again, let's look at the size of this line real quick. I'm just kind of curious here. So we've got a line of storms. Let's start it right there at the state line in Tennessee, Kentucky, all the way down. So this line, let's say, is 115 to 120. Let's just call it 130 miles long. That's how long this severe thunderstorm warn line is. That's crazy. I mean, that is from the top of the state to the bottom of the state. I feel like it was just 2 weeks ago we were dealing with something that was exactly like this. We just can't catch a break. Okay, there we go. That's good news. The tornado warning has been expired there for Decatur County. It was right in this area, right on Decaturville and Perryville and Parsons. But now it has been allowed to expire again. As I was just telling you, the rotation was very, very broad or non-existent at all. So it looks like the Weather Service guys, they saw it the same way. So they went ahead and dropped that. Let me see. Just give me 1 second. Let me check back in with the Weather Service. I like to just keep glancing over at their information because it's usually the newest and the quickest way to get it out. So let's see here. Radar continues to show rapid increase to some very strong winds up near Van Leer, Sladen, and the Fredonia areas. So that's where we were just checking out, actually. That was that portion that was extended there that's leading now into portions of, Cheatham and western Williamson County. So right in this area. Hurricane Mills, folks out towards Waverly, McEwen, Milltown, very, very heavy rainfall. Let me turn the lightning strikes back on. Let's just do a quick count. 60 lightning strikes here in the last few minutes. Folks around Lobelville, it is loud there. You are dealing with extremely heavy rainfall, more than likely some hail, and about 70 lightning strikes here in the past 10 to 15 minutes. My goodness, you do not need to be outside in this right now. Don't try to drive in it. Let this pass on through. You're not going to be able to see anything through your windshield. Just how hard it is raining right now. It's just crazy. Okay, let's draw a track on this portion real quick. Let me zoom out for just a second. I want to give folks there in Hickman County just a little bit of a heads up. So, draw this out, about 50 miles an hour. Okay, so here's some new cities for you. And I'm sorry if the map is super messy. There's just a lot of information on it right now, so I'll try to clean it up for you. So Pinewood now, that's 401, so that's in a minute and a half. Nunnally, 405, around Old Mill Creek Road, Nunnally, that area. Centerville around 408, Bon Aqua around 410, Hickman County High School, it'll be about 410, so that's a good geographical reference point. So if you are around the Hickman County High School area, 410 for you. We'll blanket that. Wrigley are about 410 as well. East Hickman High School around 415 or so. Fairview and Fairview High School around 420, 422. That's when this is going to start to move into your area. Again, folks, just a lot of heavy rainfall. We've got 200 plus lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. This whole line is warned right now. But the good news is we do not have any new tornado warnings. So that is good news. That is really good news. We do have some storms that are working into northern Davidson County right now. In fact, let me just see what it looks like outside for a hot second. Okay. So we're starting to see some dark skies kind of move in. Chuck, can you maybe point net 2, just pan it left for me, if that's possible? I just want to see what the rest of the skyline looks like. Okay, there we go. Chuck's panning it over for us. Appreciate that, Chuck. Let's just keep going. Let's see what it looks like back towards the other direction. So, again, Music City Center's right here. and that's west. Okay, so that's looking a little more towards the south. Okay. All right, so it's just kind of cloudy outside. All right, Chuck, that works. Appreciate it. I'm going to switch over and we can look at net 1. Okay, that was the same kind of view. So, all right, well, Chuck will keep spinning on these. We'll see if we can find anything interesting, but right now it's fairly quiet in the downtown Nashville area. Just dealing with some heavy rainfall on the north side of town. Up towards Millersville through Greenbrier and Springfield, Cross Plains. This portion isn't under any kind of warning or anything, but it's certainly some very heavy rainfall with some gusty winds and probably some hail. In fact, let's just check on the hail here across this entire line. So there we go. That's what I was looking for. Let's see. So around Palmyra, Cunningham, around Dotsonville, very heavy rain, and then probably some really good size hail. So that's 80. So our radar is indicating 80 plus mile per hour winds on the southwestern side of Montgomery County. So about 30 miles, not even 30 miles. What is that? About 10 miles from Clarksville on the southwest side of town. That's where we're dealing with possibly some really gusty winds. Wow. So, yeah, look at that. 60, 70, 80. Wow. Man, that is some really gusty winds. So, again, folks, even though we are not dealing with, let me just double check before I say this, any tornado warnings across Middle Tennessee right now, we've got winds possibly up to around 80 to 90 miles an hour, which is very close to high-end EF0, low-end EF1 strength, okay? So, again, treat these severe thunderstorm warnings like they're tornado warnings because, again, damaging straight-line winds can sometimes do more damage than actual tornadoes just because of how large the spread of these straight-line winds are. You know, tornadoes are a little microscopic in the grand scheme of things on a big line such as the one that we have right now. Okay, so again, please treat these as tornado warnings, even though they are not. I need you to be getting to those safe spots. We've already seen numerous trees that have been brought down back towards West Tennessee, specifically in Henry County. So, you know, I would hate for one of those to fall on a home. And so, again, that's why I'm saying get to your safe spot, protect yourself with whatever you can, okay? So let's draw a track on this. Let me just get where I want it to be. So there we go. Draw a track on this, so right here, and we're pretty much sticking to Montgomery County right now. So we're going to go out about 45 miles an hour. There we go. So folks here in Montgomery County, you're going to see very heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning, probably some good-sized hail, and from what it looks like, some very gusty winds, possibly up to around 70 to 80 miles an hour. So right here, Clarksville, about 410, 5 minutes or so, this line will be over you. Also, side note, if you have any friends, family members, parents on the Cumberland River right now in Montgomery County, give them a call. Get off the river. It's not a good time to be on the river. Clarksville High School around 4:15. Cheap Hill around 4:16. Rossview High School, if you know where that is, around 4:17. Sango, Shady Grove, 4:20. Well, that's what we'll call that, 4:20, around then. A minute or two give there. But this line will be moving into you. And again, it's got everything on it. Blinding rainfall, deadly lightning, damaging winds, possibly up to around 80 to 90 miles an hour, and more than likely some decent-sized hail. Okay, that's for Montgomery County. Let's keep going. Let's move down through Dixon County. Let's just go county by county. I think that's what we should do. So here we are in Dixon County now. Charlotte, Dixon, Van Leer getting blasted with everything. Winds, hail, rain. So this is going out to 50, let's just call it 45. So again, this track bleeds into Davidson and pretty much the northern half of Williamson County, okay? So you're going to see a mixture of all these names in here. Whoops, there we go. Clean the map up just a touch for you. All right, so here we go. Folks in White Bluff, Clay Lake, Bellsburg, now. Let's just say now, okay? Get to your safe spot now. Fairview, closer to 420. Same thing for Harpeth High School. Folks around Cheatham County High School, it's about 420, 425 as well. Around the Pegram area, about 422 or so, and that's also getting a little closer to the Bellevue area. So we'll call Bellevue, even though it's not on this list. Bellevue's right next to Newsom Mills area. We'll call that 425, okay? That this line will be moving into your area. Let's just keep going. Let's drop down. Let's go to our next county, and this is for Hickman County. Centerville, you are getting rocked right now. The western side of the town is. The eastern side, you got another minute or two before this starts to move on through. Man, look at this heavy rainfall. This black in here. Wow, around Dodd Hollow Road, around Goodrich, around Nunnally. I know Nunnally very well, this area. Around Elkins, very heavy rainfall. And there's a lot of people that live out here towards Hickman County as well. So, again, you're getting all of that. Let's draw a track on it. And that is also moving at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. So we'll 50 right there. So now we got a new list here. So folks in Fairview High School, again, around 420. Santa Fe, 430-ish, let's call it that. Santa Fe High School as well, around 430. Leapers Fork, 430. Franklin High School, a little after 430. Neapolis, Thompson Station, 438. And then Franklin, the Franklin area about let's just call Thompson Station and Franklin about 440, okay? That's when that's going to move through your area. And these times will wiggle a little bit. So if I just called out your city and a time for you, why don't you have about a 10-minute wiggle room on that time frame? So if I said 4:30, go ahead and start getting to that safe spot or be thinking about it at 4:20. Does that make sense? Hopefully you're thinking about it right now, but as we get closer. So let's keep going down to the south here. We'll work here across portions of Lewis, Perry there, and then also the northern portions of Wayne County. So let's just draw a track on that. And again, folks, if you're wondering why I'm still on, even though we don't have a tornado warning right now, it's because the winds on this line are so strong that they can do damage equivalent to small-scale tornadoes. So that's why I'm staying with you right now, okay? New list of cities. Hohenwald around 415. It's 412, but 415. Mount Hope around 420. Hampshire High School around 425. Napier around 430. Santa Fe again 430. Santa Fe High School 430. Mount Pleasant, that's a new town that's just popped up on here, about 435. Okay, that's when that's going to start to move into your area. Okay, so still waiting on action if you're east of 65. So Smyrna, Murfreesboro, Brentwood, still going to be another half hour or so, maybe 45 minutes. Let's see here. Give me just a second. Let me get caught up on what's going on in the Weather Service chat. Let's see here. So strong winds, again, 60 to 80 miles an hour around Dixon, Charlotte areas. That was 10 minutes ago, so we just covered that. Well, this is some good news. Just the way the dynamics are with the system as it's moving in, there is a low chance, low threat for tornadoes. We'll take that. Silver lining right there. But again, damaging straight line winds can be as strong as low-end tornadoes. So they can certainly do damage and in some cases can do more damage. Okay? So that's why we're going to treat these severe thunderstorm warnings, the yellow boxes, just treat them as tornado warnings, okay? So be thinking about your safe spot, where you're at right now. Let's see here. Let's see this. We have missing knowledge shows the storm will start to outrun the highest Cape axis. Thus, we anticipate the storms will likely start to weaken. Okay, that's good. That's good news. I'll tell you the good news. Just give me a second. So they're going to issue a new severe thunderstorm warning, and that is going to include, I run the end of line into Nashville. So that's going to include Robertson and Davidson County. So we're going to get a new warning here in the next couple of minutes. And I'm sure it is for this portion of the line, and it's going to be extended this way. So if I guess it'll be something that'll look like that. That would be my guess. Pretty much a copy and paste of, yep, there it is. Almost exactly what I just painted on there. So that is the new warning. Again, it's right in these areas. Okay, and that's for the line that's working through Dixon, Montgomery, and now moving into Cheatham County. Okay, and that's going to go until, what is it, 4:45? So another 30 minutes or so. The good news. One piece of good news is, again, that there is a low tornado threat. And the second piece of good news is it looks like possibly the amount of energy that is on the eastern half of the state, east of 65, may not be as much as they were originally thinking. So hopefully, and we'll see. I mean, we still have a long ways to go, but we'll see if this line, once it gets over 65, if it'll start to weaken, if it'll start to ramp down a little bit. I hope it does. I was really hoping for a quiet weekend, but that didn't work out for us. Seems like it's been weeks since we've had a calm weekend across Middle Tennessee, but it is severe weather season after all, so we are going to be dealing with this. Another piece of good news is we are not dealing with any tornado warnings, but this whole line is severe thunderstorm warned. So Clarksville, through Dixon, down through Centerville, all the way down to Savannah, Linden, Hohenwald. Very heavy rainfall. Very heavy rainfall. And then the gusty winds is the other part of this equation. So let's check out the winds real quick again. And I can tell you right now that these are definitely 60 or 70 mile per hour winds without even having to, 60 around Van Leer, up to 70 around Dixon, around 50 back towards McEwen, 70, Aaron, Cumberland City. Now, again, keep in mind the radar is shooting up, so these winds could be pocketed above the surface, okay? So there could be 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in the upper end of the atmosphere that are trying to work down towards the ground. So we'll see what happens, but there are some gusty winds inside of these storms, and looking at some of the damage reports we've seen, they are at times making it down towards the surface and tearing up roofs, moving some trees around, if not snapping a couple of trees, those sorts of things. So, and again, it's not just in Montgomery, Dixon, or Cheatham counties. The gusty winds extend all the way down towards the south as well. For example, folks there in Centerville, 50 to 60. So again, folks, very gusty winds in addition to heavy rainfall, in addition to some decent-sized hail. Let's kind of talk about that for a second. Let's do a little cross-section here, and let's see. So basically what I'm showing you here, let me get rid of those lightning strikes. Wow. Sorry, that map got a little crazy. So what we're seeing here, and again, let me just, for reference, Centerville is right under here. You can't really see the name, but the Centerville, Bon Aqua, okay? There's your reference points. What we're seeing, what this radar image is detecting, is hail that is aloft. And basically the way hail works is water droplets get into the updraft of a storm, they go up, the water's cold up there, it's below freezing, it freezes, the water freezes, the hail falls back down. If the hail isn't heavy enough that it overcomes the updraft, then it gets picked back up and it goes up and down. It just does this process over and over and over and over until the hailstone is big enough that it is heavier than the updraft can sustain it to be aloft. So then it falls to the ground, okay? So this is showing a tremendous amount of hail aloft, okay? In the atmosphere, upper atmosphere, okay? Not necessarily falling all the way down to the surface, but it is detecting hail. But without a doubt, there's hail that's making it to the ground here around between Centreville and Bon Aqua. If you are watching right now, and in about 15 minutes, when this really heavy rainfall moves out of the area, if you happen to maybe see some on your back porch and you can snap a photo of it, send it our way. I'm curious to see how big the hail is down in these areas. Excuse me. Let's switch back over and let's keep looking at these wind speeds, because that's going to be the most concerning thing for us as this line continues to move on through. It's by far our biggest threat today out of this line. So still dealing with 60 to 70 mile per hour winds around Dixon, Bon Aqua, west of Ashland City. So folks that are east of the gustiest winds, so let's say Pleasant View, Ashland City, Kingston Springs, out towards Fairview, you are dealing with starting to see the winds pick up, is what I'm trying to say. Let me look at our rotation detector real quick. Let's see here. We got reports of power is now out in Hickman County off of Highway 46. Let's see here. Let me just go back through. New severe thunderstorm warning. We got that covered. Numerous reports of wind damage across Dixon County. So let's stay there. I mean, we're pretty much already there right now. But let's go back towards Dixon County. So this is pretty much where I've been showing you all, well, the past 10 or 15 minutes. So again, Van Leer, radar estimated 65 miles per hour. Charlotte, radar estimated 65 miles an hour. Dixon, 50-ish. Burns, 47. White Bluff, around 50. So we've got, 50 to 70 mile per hour winds in these areas right now, okay? Winds can be as damaging as tornadoes and low-end tornadoes. So please, if you're in Cheatham County especially, these gusty winds are moving your direction. And I'm seeing reports of wind damage there in Dixon County. So again, we're dealing with winds strong enough that they are causing damage. So please, in Cheatham County, Ashland City, Kingston Springs, out towards Pleasant View and Sheep Hill, start to move to your safe spot, because these gusty winds are starting to move on through. Let's switch back over to the radar real quick. And again, we've got some very heavy rainfall and some hail. So this is one of our, let me get rid of these severe thunderstorm warnings. There you go. So what I'm showing you here is where the radar has detected hail across the last hour. Okay, so swaths possibly of hail through Ashland City, down through Burns, into Dixon, Charlotte, Van Leer, and then on the north side of town, up between Greenbrier, Pleasant View, and out towards Cottontown and Millersville, possibly some hail as well. I have not been able to check my email lately to see if I've seen any hail photos. So if you've sent those in and I haven't seen them yet, thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm interested to see what the hail situation is going to be like out of some of these storms. Let me just restart this real quick. Okay. So we've got 200 plus lightning strikes on this view. Okay. So this entire view that we can see here, about 200 strikes. The lightning strikes are down about 20 or 30 here in the last 15 minutes. And sometimes how much lightning is or isn't in a storm, or how much that changes, can kind of tell us if a storm's weakening a little bit. So I don't think this storm's weakening at all. I just think that we're in a little bit of a lull in the action when it comes to lightning. So let me just put a lapse on this. I haven't done that yet. So again, this is the main event, folks. It's working in right now. Folks back towards Paris and Waverly, the biggest portion of this line is now moved through, but you're going to continue to see some pretty decent rainfall. And you're probably going to continue to hear a lot of thunder here for the next 2 hours or so. Maybe a little less. I'm just ballparking 2 hours. But again, the worst of the line is past you. In fact, let me just go through some of these cities over here. And I can just kind of give you the, not really the all clear, but sort of an all clear. So like Murray, Paris, folks in Dover, in Waverly, while the gustiest winds have now moved on, there's still going to be some heavy rainfall at times and frequent lightning and thunder. So just know that. But the worst of this has now passed you. Okay, so that's good news. Let's draw a new track because we've got a whole lot of people that live in Davidson and Williamson counties. So I want to go ahead and start giving those folks pretty good heads up time. So this line, whoops, that was a bad track. This line is working into Cheatham County right now. Moving off towards the east at about 48 miles an hour. So here we go. We got some new times for you. All right. So Newsom Mills exit now. So these storms are moving over you right now. Pegram, this is right over you. Kingston Springs as well. Folks in Bellevue on the western side of Davidson County, about 4:30, 4:27. So that's 5 minutes from now, okay? So you're really going to see your winds picking up, your rainfall picking up. You've been hearing the thunder and lightning, seeing the lightning. Folks there around Vaughn's Gap, 4:30. Jolton, Jordonia, around 4:30 as well. Here at the station, about 4:30. So here in about 8 to 10 minutes from now. West Nashville, a little after 4:30. And then around the Bordeaux area, it's going to be around like 4:32, 4:33, if you will. Let's keep going. I want to do another track here on the portion that's moving into Williamson County. So we'll draw this track here, and we'll call it Northern Murray County too. So here we go. And so I'm going to try to pick out some cities that I didn't call out a second ago. Santa Fe. Right now, around the high school here in the next couple of minutes. We've got Hillsborough Acres around 4:30, 4:32. Around South Hall around 4:30 as well. Fieldstone Farms around 4:32, and the Grassland area around 4:32. So that's when this is going to start to move into your area. Let me look at some other cities here. Let's put Green Hills on here. So 4:36, Thompson Station, 4:38, okay? Let's go the Radnor Lake area. You know where that park is. So around 4:38 as well. Father Ryan High School, if you know where that is, 4:40. Let's see here, Paragon Mills, around 4:45 or so. Nashboro Village, going to be around 4:48. Okay. Let's turn the warnings back on to see if we have anything new. So to make sure I don't miss any tornado warnings if those come out. Let's see here. Let's see here. So it looks like we could have seen dime-sized hail around the Clarksville area just a few minutes ago, which is not surprising at all. I mean, I showed you that a minute ago, and let's look at that again, actually. The amount of hail. And what I'm going to look at here is this portion that's moving into Davidson and Williamson County, okay? So let me draw a box on the hail. And then we'll turn it sideways. Let me clean the map up just a hot second. There we go. And so this is a 3D cross section of the storms, okay? So this is showing hail aloft, hail suspended in the atmosphere. So there's a lot of hail wrapped up in these storms. The question is, are they heavy enough, are they large enough to overcome the updraft in the storm to fall all the way to the ground? Certainly so. I mean, it would appear that way. We just got reports of dime-sized, which would be, would that be quarter inch sized hail? So we're dealing with hail, folks. So we've got very heavy rain too. And the most concerning thing to me are the gusty winds. So again, huge swath of really gusty winds working through Cheatham County right now. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. And these are moving into Davidson County. All right. Let me actually draw a track tracking out the wind speeds. So we'll draw this out to about, let me change that. Don't look at those numbers yet. Let's see here. Speed up to 50. Oh, not 60. There we go. All right. So I'm tracking when the estimated arrival time of very gusty winds will be moving into Davidson County. Jordonia, 7 or 8 minutes from now. Bordeaux, around 4:35. Whites Creek High School, that area, around 4:35. The TSU area, around 4:35. Hillsborough High School, Davidson Academy, and Hume Fog, right there in downtown Nashville on Broadway, about 4:38. So the Hume Fog, that gives us a good kind of blanket for pretty much all of downtown Nashville, okay? So all of downtown Nashville, we'll start to see very gusty winds moving in here in the next 10 to 12 minutes, let's say. So if you're leaving to go anywhere, I would recommend waiting. I would not try to outrun the storms because they're moving again at like 50 to 60 miles an hour. Yeah, just wait. Just because there's so much gusty wind and the rain is just awful. You're not going to be able to see anything. Actually, let's switch back over. There we go. And let's look at our tower cams here. So that's our tower. So this is looking westward. That's the Channel 4 tower right there. So this is looking westward, and we are seeing just a wall of rain moving towards downtown Nashville. You literally cannot see anything out there. Let's see what this, Let's see what Net 2 looks like. Okay, Chuck's panning it around. Yeah, Chuck, keep it going, man. Let's see what we can see here. So that's as far as you can go? Okay, that's fine. That's good. Can you just give me a focus on that just so it doesn't look as blurry? We'll be good to go. Okay, perfect. Thanks, man. So ominous looking clouds, okay? This is looking, I believe, trying to see, I think this is looking westward. Ominous clouds moving our direction. So, and then you can see just the rain way over here. So that is rain that's coming down, and this is where it's not raining. So, wow. Interesting day. Okay, let's switch back over. And then I want to point out this area up here. So our radar is showing possible, maybe a little bit of rotation up in here, just south of Cooperstown, okay? So let's turn these rings off, and let's switch over to our rotation detector. Okay, so it is showing a little bit of rotation just south of Cooperstown and northwest of Forest Grove. This would be northeast of Mount Zion. So it's right in here. So I'm going to pan out a little to the west, and so I can just move the map a little. I'm going to go back in time and kind of see how this thing has moved. Okay, interesting. Okay, interesting. Let's see here. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, I don't see it. Let me check the chat and see if they're thinking about anything. Let's see here. So radar showing damaging winds spreading into Bellevue, Jolton, and Leapers Fork areas. That was just a few minutes ago. We've been tracking that. I can draw you another track in just a second. Radar shows 50 to 70 mile per hour winds heading towards Nashville right now. Again, I think I can hear lightning here at the station now. Folks, if you're just joining us and you're wondering, there's no tornado warnings. Why are you still in the air? Well, we have a large line of severe thunderstorm warned storms, and a line of storms that has shown that we've been dealing with wind speeds up to around 70 to 80 miles an hour. That's EF0, EF1 tornado territory, okay? So, and in some instances, especially with storms like this, damaging straight line winds can be worse than tornadoes. So again, even though we don't have tornado warnings right now across Middle Tennessee, I am treating these severe thunderstorm warnings like they are. Okay, so that's why I'm still here. We have a newscast coming up at 5 in about 30 minutes. Pretty much guarantee I'm going to be going all the way till 5 p.m. with you. Okay. Man, it's really coming down. I can hear it now. Man, I don't know. Maybe you can hear that on my microphone or not. I don't know. So let me just show you where we are. So right there. This is where the station is, okay? West side of Nashville, around the Richland Park area. There's TSU. There's a nice reference point. Charlotte Park. This is over by where the Walmart is. If you know where that is. What is that? Bellevue West, I think is the name of that. There's some Bellevue 1, Bellevue West. There's so many. But where the Target is, where the Walmart is, that's where we're seeing some really heavy rainfall right now. Here's the station. Man, it is coming down outside. And this just getting going too. So this is going to be a nice little ride here for us. Let's see here. Let me draw another track on this as it moves into Nashville, okay? So towards the east. Let me just change the speed on that. 45. Okay. Let me get rid of the warnings for you. Okay, so new listed times. This is moving into Davidson County. TSU 435. Okay, that's going to be right in this area, right in here. Forest Hills around 434. It's down here. Okay. Green Hills 2. Let's just call Green Hills and Forest Hills at the same time. 435. Well, there it is right there. Green Hills. Hillsboro High School around 436. Brentwood Academy 436. Radnor Lake area around 435. Or shortly after that, Davidson County around 438. Let me find Nashville on my list real quick, and I want to put it at the top, since I know a lot of people are in Nashville. So there we go. Nashville, 438. Heavy rain is going to be moving into your area, along with some very gusty winds. In fact, let's look at those winds real quick. I'm going to keep this track box on here for you in case you're just getting here and you're wondering when this is going to arrive into your area here in Davidson County, okay? So I'm going to leave this box here for you. But I am going to, at the same time, dissect some of the wind speeds that will be moving into Nashville, the Nashville area. So 40 to 50. So yeah, 40 to 50, maybe up to around 60 to 70 miles an hour, okay? Those are the types of winds that will be moving into these cities in the next little bit. So we got some new places on here. Berry Hill around 439, Father Ryan High School, Nissan Stadium there on the other side of the Cumberland. It's going to be about 440. So that's in, what time is it? 5 minutes from now. All right, so these are getting close, folks, to the Davidson County area. Let's keep moving down towards the south. Let's work through Williamson County real quick. First thing we'll do is we'll see how gusty these winds are. Radar indicated, of course. 30 to 40 miles an hour. So maybe some of these winds are letting up a little bit, which that is certainly some good news. So let's see here. Let me draw a track on that as that's moving and overspreading into Williamson. So pretty much the western half. I see in Williamson County along 65 and west getting hammered right now. The eastern side, eastern half of I-65 is not, but will be in the next few minutes. Let's draw a track. So we'll draw a new track right here, going out to about 50 miles an hour. There we go. Okay, so we got a new track, and this is going to bleed into Rutherford County. So maybe we'll get a couple of Rutherford County names on here. So Summit High School now, Ladd Park now, Creve Hall right now, Raintree Forest around 438, Nippers Corner around 438 as well, so now pretty much. Sunset Elementary, 441, Nolensville around 442, Nolensville High School, that area, and Antioch around 443. 440, let's just call it 440. That'll give you some time to get to that safe spot. And again, I think this is definitely one of those instances where you should be treating a severe thunderstorm warning like a tornado warning, because these winds are so damaging. They can be up to around 60 to 70 miles an hour. Yeah, that's going to topple trees, especially smaller ones. So again, I think it's wise that you just move to your safe spot just for a little bit, just to let this kind of blow on through, and you'll be good to go in 10 minutes or so. And if you are watching here on our News4 app, thank you for downloading that. And if you don't have that, I do encourage you to get that. You can track this with me right now, just right there in your hand. It's a super good app. So let's see here. Let me just check the weather service one more time. Damaging winds spreading into downtown Nashville right now. Got a couple of trees down in the Columbia area. We got 3/4 inch sized hail around the Canyon Fork area. Those trees down in Columbia, that's Murray County, just to confirm. We've got power outages now around the Murray Lane and the Hillsborough area in Brentwood. So it looks like these winds are indeed maybe pulling some power lines off of the poles or something like that, maybe taking some of them down. Wow, we're going to have a long list of tree damage, I bet, today with these gusty winds, especially along and west of 65. I think this line is going to start to wind down a bit once it gets over 65. Again, folks, just bear with me. I'm trying to talk and read at the same time. So I'm just trying to read what the National Weather Service is putting out. It's a good source of information for damages. So we got 60 mile per hour wind gust estimated in the Etheridge area in Lawrence County. Excuse me. Some small limbs broken, a couple of downed trees along I-840 in Burns. Coming down hard on that one. Let's switch over to that there real quick. Oh, Chuck, where's this at? I can't even tell. So this is downtown Nashville, looking towards the west, and there's a power flash there, lightning flash, excuse me. But you cannot see anything, and this is why I was saying just a few minutes ago, this is not going to be fun to drive through because of this. This is what you would be driving through. This is what your windshield would look like while you're driving, so it's not fun. Don't do that. Let's see here. Wow, that is impressive. Let's look at the rest of them real quick. So this is our Serve Pro camera. So the skyline would be back here. It's not there right now because of how hard the rain's coming down. Let's see what our roof camera looks like. Okay, looks like it's covered in rain. And so, okay, so this is another one. Another camera we have at downtown Nashville. So basically, Chuck, the Capitol building would be like right over here, I think, just kind of out of my view. I don't need to see it. I just want to kind of give folks a perspective of what we're looking at. But notice the camera shaking around. So a combination of very heavy rainfall and some very gusty winds. It's really hard to make out the flags there on top of that building to kind of see how strong the winds are, but certainly some very heavy rain and some gusty winds coming through there right now. Brentwood. Okay, let's check out Brentwood. Let's see here. That would be, you have it up now? Okay, thanks, Chuck. So this is Brentwood, and this is at Franklin Road and Town Center. So you can see no one's on the road. Some pretty heavy rainfall coming through that area right now. Let me look over and actually, Chuck, if we could come back out. This is a look at Moore's Lane at I-65 southbound there around the Cool Springs area. So cars are still traveling. So, but the rain's coming down very, very hard. I'm looking at it right now. And yeah, it's really coming down. In fact, here, I'll switch back over, and here's the Cool Springs area right here. So that camera, I think, is about right there where my finger is, give or take a mile or two. So that was looking southbound. So again, very heavy rainfall coming through the Cool Springs area right now. I'm trying to see if there's any ponding on the side of the interstate anywhere. Maybe not right now, but with more rain expected to come through here tonight, there may be some puddling, some ponding here on the sides of the road. So if you have to travel tonight, that's something you're going to have to watch out for. Just watch out for ponding on the roadways. Let's switch back over to the radar real quick. Here we go. So Brentwood's now getting hit hard with very heavy rainfall. Cool Springs, Franklin, Leapers Fork, all the way down towards Thompson Station. All right, let's look at the winds real quick. Oh, wrong one. There we go. And these winds are dying down, so that is awesome. So now the wind speeds, radar estimated in the Williamson County area, about 30 to 40 miles an hour. So that's a whole lot better than 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. So that is certainly some good news. Happy to report that information. But still, although the wind may have been dying down or has died down a little bit in the Williamson County area, there's still a lot of rain. And let's check and the lightning strikes have come down too, so that's good news. There's still some lightning around too, so we'll have to watch out for that thing. For the lightning, I mean. Okay, let's keep going. Let's move back up towards the northern end of town. Want to give the all clear for Clarksville. Folks in Woodlawn, Dotsonville, out towards Cunningham and Cumberland City. You're going to continue to see rain, but the worst of it is past you. And just to confirm, I don't think the winds are as gusty anymore. It's still showing radar estimated around 40 to 50 on the eastern side of Montgomery County. I'm just curious. Let's see what's still, okay, still gusting through. Okay, so winds are coming down now in western Montgomery County, but there still are areas that are dealing with some pretty gusty winds. So let me just restart this real quick, re-rack this. Looks like we have several more severe thunderstorm warnings. Give me 2 seconds and let me just work through this again through the Weather Service to see if I can find any new information. Any other damaging winds can spread across Nashville toward Wilson, Rutherford County, Mary, Lawrence. Let's see your Spring Hill at Charles Lane. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Murray County is responding to multiple trees down. And water rescues on the Duck River. Okay. So again, we don't want people on the waterways right now. So let's do this. Pretty much the eastern half of Percy Priest Lake not dealing with rain right now, but they're going to get hammered here in the next 5 minutes. So if you have friends or family members that are on a river, a lake, in the backyard in their pool, call them right now and tell them, just find some shelter. You got some gusty winds coming through, and winds will only get stronger when they're over an open body of water. There's nothing in the way to kind of slow those winds down. So winds will be stronger on bodies of water than, let's say, super hilly Bellevue, for example. Okay, those hills help to kind of block some of that wind. You don't have that there on the water. So winds can be even worse on waterways. Percy Priest Lake, if you know anybody on the lake right now, give them a shout, okay? And then even all the way out towards, what is that, Old Hickory and Center Hill Lake? Excuse me, not Old Hickory, Center Hill, yeah. Those folks, give them a call too. Let them know, hey, you got about 45 minutes for this line catches up to you folks down there. Let's check in down towards the south. Here we are in Murray County, in Columbia. Let's check the winds real quick. Let me turn those severe thunderstorm warnings off. I'm on edge, okay. So winds don't look to be as bad down there, radar indicated wise, but I think that's underestimating the wind, the strength of the winds down there. I think the winds are more so like 30 or 40. Let's draw a track on this because this is going to keep moving through, was that Marshall County? Marshall into Bedford. So let's draw a track on this real quick, all right? What's my lightning counter on? 29 strikes. Here's a new track. Out to about 40, okay. All right, so here we go. we have a new list of cities for you, and some of these towns have now been included in a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. There's severe thunderstorm warnings all over the place. Forest High School, about 450, if you know where that is. Okay, so here in about 5 minutes. Lewisburg, 450 as well. Cornersville High School, 450 or so shortly after that. Eagleville High School, 450 to 455, somewhere in there. Unionville, 456. Palmetto, a little closer to 5 o'clock, which again, we have a newscast coming up at 5, and we'll see what happens with that. If we have any tornado warnings, of course, we're gonna stay with you. But right now we don't. However, with winds as strong as they are in this type of system, I am treating these severe thunderstorm warnings like tornado warnings, okay? Seek shelter as they move on through. Again, this line is racing through the area. So if you just give it 20 minutes in your safe spot, the worst wind, the worst rain moves on through and you're good to go. You're back out of your safe spot. 20 minutes is not a long time. Just let these kind of blow on through, folks. Let's move up there towards the northern end of the state. So we are taking a look at Sumner and Robertson counties, okay? And then also out towards Macon and Trousdale. Was that Smith too? So let me draw a track on this. And we got some really heavy rain moving through Hendersonville right now. So there we go. So we've got a new list of tracks here for you. Cedar Grove, now. Station Camp High School, pretty much now. Mount Juliet and Mount Juliet High School around 452, 453, all right? Cottontown around Gallatin High School, 455 or so. LaGuardo around 456. Gallatin, 457. And Chestnut Grove around 458. So a little closer to 5 o'clock. I want to just dissect some of this information real quick. Still a lot of lightning in this area. Folks there in Hendersonville, if you know your neighborhood, and it's on this map. Owen Estates, Creekwood Estates, Raintree Estates, Meadowvale, Oakvale, Cedar Brook, Hendersonville, Rockland, North Hills Estates, and High, Chaparral. Very heavy rainfall working through you right now, okay? And quite a bit of lightning too. Let's see here. There's just so much tree damage going on across Middle Tennessee right now. Let's see here. Power lines are down in Bellevue near the Aldi's on Highway 70. I can see a couple of my friends, they live in Rutherford County, and they are also saying that their power is out. A friend of mine, John, saying power's out in his area. Let's see here. I got a friend, Ryan, who lives in Smyrna off of Almaville exit, the Almaville Road exit. His power is out. My friend Mike's in Antioch. He's got power out. So we got a lot of tree damage, it looks like, which is to be expected when you have wind gusts up to around 50 to 60 miles an hour. So, Chuck, everything good? You okay? Okay. I didn't know if you needed to swap my batteries out of my mic or not. So let's dive in here to Rutherford County. So this is just now getting into Rutherford County, all right? So folks, they are in Almaville, Eagleville, Laverne, and Smyrna. You're starting to see or already seeing very heavy rainfall. Let's check out the winds real quick, which don't appear to be anything super crazy, but winds are picking up. So maybe 30 to 40 mile per hour winds as this line's moving into these areas in Rutherford County. Let me draw a track on just Rutherford County real quick. And out towards 50. Let me change that number real quick. Let's do 50. So here we go. We got a new track. And again, let me clean this map up a little bit. Turn off the warnings. So this is just for the portion that's moving into Rutherford County, okay? Lancaster Christian Academy. I believe that is off of, is that Enon Springs Road right now? So that's in that area. Smyrna High School, right now, that's off of, what's that, Almova Road. Blackman High School around 456. Gladeville, closer to 5 o'clock. Siegel High School in Walter Hill, it'll be closer to about 5. Folks out towards Riverdale High School, Murfreesboro, the Square area, and Holloway High School, it'll be either right at or just a little after 5 o'clock. So that's coming up here. It's 4:51 and a half, 4:52. Ooh, that was a loud one. 4:52. So we got about 10 minutes before this really digs into Rutherford County. Again, a couple of my friends there saying they got power outages in Smyrna, power outages in Antioch. My friend Mike is saying that. See, you got Tracy, who just texted me. She's got power out in Brentwood. Tracy, thanks for that report. I appreciate that. So we got a lot of power outages and we have a lot of wind damage. Those two go hand in hand. So that's not surprising. Let's keep going down towards the south, okay? I just can't get over how many severe thunderstorm warning boxes there are. I almost don't want to leave them on because it's too distracting. It just clutters the map up, and I feel like it makes it hard for you to be able to see your city or where the rain is. So I'll keep turning it back on from time to time, but just know that this entire line is severe thunderstorm warned, but not tornado warned. That's good news. Sticking down through Marshall and Bedford County. Marshall County from end to end pretty much getting rocked with heavy rain and some very gusty winds. So let's draw a new, that's not the right one. Let's draw a new track here. We'll draw this out about 50 miles an hour. Sims Spring around 456, so that's pretty much now. The Fall Creek area around 5 o'clock. Anchor Mill, 501. Excuse me. Deason, 505. And Shelbyville area, it'll be about 510. Around there, around 510. Same thing for Petersburg, okay? And that is heavy rain and some gusty winds. So let's keep going. Let's see here. So again, let's check back in with Davidson County. So folks now in Bellevue, Westmead, Linton, back towards Jolton, you still got some rain coming down and moderate rain, but the worst of it is now moving past you. Again, that's the western half of Davidson County. The eastern half, this is still kind of working on through. So folks in Donaldson, Nashville Village, Antioch, out towards Mount Juliet, and Hendersonville, you were just getting hammered with some heavy rainfall. Let's check out the, I don't want to show that. I want to show, wow, okay, some hail. Wow, okay. So this is a product that we have called Hail Path, and basically this is showing where radar has indicated the path of hail over the last hour. So pretty much the entire county of Davidson County is covered in the hail path. Now, this doesn't mean that every single area saw hail, and it may be that it was just hail suspended in the atmosphere still that never made it all the way to the ground. But still, it did show that these storms were capable of producing some pretty good-sized hail. I've seen several reports of dime-sized hail. So I'm actually surprised I haven't seen any reports of anything bigger, especially back towards western Tennessee when this line was starting to really work on through. Let me look at my storm threats real quick. And, ooh, white. Okay. That's interesting. Whoa. Okay. So according to this product, it is showing that areas near Donaldson, Big Joe, if you're watching right now, I know you're in Donaldson. Let me know if you've seen any hail, bud. All right, shoot me a text. Let me know. Donaldson area, Clover Hill, Rosebank around Dalewood. It is showing radar indicated 3-inch plus sized hail. Okay, so that's going to be close to, is that baseball-sized hail? This might be overreaching, overestimating here. But the fact that it's showing radar indicated hail this large, there's definitely some beefy hail, or was some beefy hail around the Donaldson, Rosebank, or Dalewood area. We just got the update there, okay? Now it looks like it has moved on. Let's see, we'll keep things right in the center for you so you can kind of see it. Hopewell around there, still right there in Hermitage Mills, Tulip Grove, Travis, Hermitage Woods, some big boy hail, maybe, possibly. We'll see. I'm waiting to see some reports. Let's see, we've got more storm reports, big trees down a lot of places. Around Brentwood, just south of Old Hickory Boulevard near Meadowlawn Drive, near Concord Road. You know where that is. Let's see here. Large trees and power lines down across the entire county of Lawrence County. That place cannot catch a break. I feel like every time we get these rounds of severe storms coming through, Lawrence County always gets rocked. Let's see here. What else? Wind gusts up to around 60 miles an hour in Davidson County. And that was at the airport. Let's see here. Donaldson Hill subdivision, power outage. So if you haven't lost power yet, and maybe the storms haven't gotten to you yet, we have a free News4 app that you can stream everything I'm doing right now. You can stream our newscast. You can submit photos. You can track the rain yourself with our radar. You can do all that good stuff. I do encourage you to download it. And it's awesome when you lose. It's not awesome when you lose power, but when you lose power, it's awesome to have that app so you can still get the information that you need to get. Okay? Let's see here. Let me just double check, make sure we don't have any tornado warnings. Not trying to miss any of those. So no. Okay, so no tornado warnings. And thankfully, this event was never really going to be a huge tornadic threat for us. Thankfully, we are all okay with that. We had one lonely tornado warning that was in Henderson and Decatur counties about an hour ago. Okay, so now everything continues to move towards the east. Again, the whole line remains warned. I'm pretty sure I said it at 4 p.m. earlier that we were going to have this line that was going to be warned the whole time. Okay, so let's just kind of keep going. Let's see here. And so in Rutherford County now, still some really heavy rain, but I'm not really seeing. Let's see, we got 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. So that's good. That's better anyways. Let's see here. And this might just be because the rain's kind of crossing over the radar right now, so we're kind of getting blocked for some information. So we'll have to let this kind of move on through. But there's still some really gusty winds in the area. See here, more damage reports for you. Reports of roof being lifted off of a garage in Springfield. The Smyrna Airport had a wind gust of 53 miles an hour. See, a friend of mine, Nick, just said that his power is out. He is in the Leapers Fork area, so maybe you're dealing with that as well. See, we got a tree on a house in Columbia. So damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour continue here with highest moving into Gladeville and Lebanon in Wilson County. Okay, let's dive into that then. So here we are in Wilson County. Lebanon, you're fine, okay? You're good to go for now, but you need to be getting to that safe spot, okay? Because you got some very strong winds coming your way, and this edge of this storm, here I can even tell you exactly what it is about 5 miles to your west, okay? So literally 2 minutes, this is going to be right on top of you, okay? And I just want to check out the winds here real quick, see what these look like. 50, 70, 70. So okay, there we go. Wind speeds between about 60 and 80 miles an hour. Okay, that's what's moving into Lebanon right now. So I'm going to draw a track on these gusty winds. I think that's a good thing to do, is to draw where the worst of the wind is and to track where it's going. So this is not necessarily the rain, this is just the wind, okay? So you're gonna start to see, let me clean this map up again. You're gonna start to see really gusty winds working in around the Lebanon High School area right now. Wilson County Fairgrounds area around 5:05. Tucker's Crossroads, it's gonna be about 5:15, okay? Watertown High School about 5:15 as well. Flat Rock, Dixon Springs, 5:20, 5:25. Riddleton, 5:26. South Carthage, around 5:30. That's when the gusty winds are going to start to move into your area. And then there's the rain. So the rain is the same thing. The rain is the same thing, time-wise. Watertown around 5:15. Dixon Springs, 5:24. Riddleton, 5:26. Chuck, okay, I was going to say, thank you, sir, for moving that. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's keep going down towards the south. I really want to stay focused on what's going on in Wilson and Rutherford counties. To me, that looks like to be where some of the worst winds have been right now. Okay. Do you want to, do we have a live look? Is that what it is? Or can we get a report report? Okay, sure. All right, well, let's go to News 4's Joshua Cole. He's currently traveling through Rutherford County right now. Josh, what can you tell us, bud? He just froze. Okay. We'll get back to him. So, again, that heavy rain is doing wonders for the cell service here across Middle Tennessee right now. Okay. Winds increasing in Wilson County, straight line winds up to around 90 miles an hour possible. So, yeah, wow. That is some serious wind. So here we are. Let me take a deep dive here, and let's hammer out some roads. All right, so Cairo Bend, if you know where that is, Martha, right there on Lebanon Road. You've got winds around possibly up to 80 to 90 miles an hour. Again, folks, that is the equivalent of a high-end EF0, low-end EF1 tornado. So again, even though we don't have any tornado warnings across Middle Tennessee, I still am treating today's event, excuse me, I'm treating these severe thunderstorm warnings like tornado warnings because, again, these winds are serious business. Serious business. And again, that's moving into Lebanon right now. So Wilson County Fairgrounds, there you go. Right there. So they're let's just do it. Let's just try it. Let's see what it says. So winds around 40 to 60 miles an hour, ranging around the square there on Lebanon and around the Wilson County Fairgrounds area. So if you know where that is, winds are really, really starting to pick up. And these are going to move into Tucker's Crossroads and Bellwood here in the next 10 minutes or so. Okay. Man, that is some serious wind. That's crazy. Let's keep moving down towards the south. Let's drop down towards the Shelbyville area there in Bedford. And just some heavy rain, it looks like. And let's see how many lightning strikes we got. 4 strikes in the last 15 minutes. Okay, that's good. It's good when we start to see that lightning count goes down. That kind of means that the storm's losing a little bit of its muster. And that's what we want. It's exactly what we want. So Shelbyville, Pleasant Grove, Palmetto, you're getting your fair share of rain. Wind-wise, things don't look to be too intense in here. Maybe some wind gusts up to around 30 to 40, but the winds don't look to be out of control there in Bedford County. So that's good. There's some silver lining for you. Down towards the south, down towards Pulaski, folks there in Lawrenceburg and Etheridge, you're still dealing with some pretty heavy rainfall. Let's check out the winds, see what they look like. So nothing too crazy. Now keep in mind, Pulaski, that's several miles from our radar site. So you got to think about that beam as it's, cutting through the storms. It's kind of riding upwards, because the Earth curves. So the wind speeds may be off just a tad bit. I'd feel safe calling it between about 30 and 40 miles an hour right there. Let me go back real quick to Rutherford County. I want to look at the wind speeds in this area, and then we're going to go out to Joshua Cole, see what's going on with him, see what he's saying. So we still got winds around 30 to 35 miles an hour, let's say. So winds aren't as bad there as they are there in Wilson County. There's a lot of lightning in Wilson County as well. Okay, so let's go to News 4's Joshua Cole. Josh, you're in Rutherford County. What are you seeing? Where are you at right now? What's it look like on the roads?
Hey there, Cody. Yeah, we're headed northbound from Murfreesboro back into Nashville. While we were in Murfreesboro just a little bit ago, everything looked like a beautiful day, and then suddenly this storm just really kind of swept in real fast. I want to show you right now because that's what we're dealing with a lot. Right now, the rain has kind of cleared up a little bit. It's gotten a lot lighter, but still people are slowing down because there's been just moments where it's just heavy downpour real fast. We've had a lot of water just kicked up onto our windshield. Thankfully, we haven't really run into or seen any accidents just yet, but still, it's just a lot of people taking a lot more precaution right now here out on the road. Again, on I-24 headed north back into the Nashville area. We're going to go check out a couple other spots that we've heard of. You talked about a little bit of damage. We're going to try to bring you some of that too as that wind really goes through. We can really feel the wind shaking the car around too in some moments. But thankfully, it's been a pretty easy ride, but I think that's just because there's a lot less people out on the road right now. Cody?
All right, Joshua, thank you so much for that report. Again, he said that he was leaving Murfreesboro heading towards Nashville. So he'll be getting into not as intensive rain. He's kind of past the worst of that. Again, Joshua, thanks for that. But you heard him say, he was kind of blowing all over the place traveling on the interstates because the winds are still, 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. That's still strong wind. So, I mean, he's traveling through that. Let's get back. Man, look at all the lightning. 240 strikes in this view, okay? In this view. This is not even showing you all of Middle Tennessee. This is just in this particular view right there in northern Wilson County. And this is southern Sumner County. Wow, my goodness. Gallatin, LaGuardo, out towards Hunters Point, Castellan Springs. Man, it is loud. It is not a good time there right now because of how much lightning it is. I can't get over that. That is crazy. That is a lot of lightning. Wow, man, that is a lot. In addition to how loud it is in Wilson and Sumner counties, the wind is just howling right now. Wow. Let's see here. 60, 70, 80, around 65 or so in Lebanon, back towards LaGuardo. Winds have died down a little bit, so that's good. But again, it kind of looks like the worst of this wind is, let's say, Castellan Springs all the way down towards south of Interstate 40 in Wilson County. Sorry about that track there. This is kind of where the worst of the wind is right now. So folks out towards, let's see, what is this road? Hunters Point Pike. Oh yeah, okay. I know where this is. Yep, I've been to the boat launch right here at Hunters Point. So if you're around that area, Hunters Point Pike, wild wind, 60, 70, maybe even 80 plus mile per hour winds. And this is all moving towards the east. So let me draw a new track on this, okay? Because I want to get folks out towards Smith, DeKalb, Trousdale counties. A little heads up, okay? Let's see here. Alan, you don't have any loose trees at the house in Trousdale, do you?
I hope not.
It might be going down, or some of them today. Okay, so here's a new track, and again, I am tracking the damaging wind, okay? Not necessarily the rain. The wind is the much bigger threat here. It's working through Wilson County right now. Hartsville around 518. Dixon Springs, a little after 5:25, so here in about 15 minutes from now. Riddleton, 5:27. South Carthage and Carthage, closer to 5:30. Gordonsville High School and Smith County High School, about 5:30. This is the damaging winds that are moving your direction, okay? I'm not tracking rain right now. These are just the winds. Let's look at the rain. I mean, the time frame is about the same, wind or rain, but I was just showing you the wind because it is the bigger threat. With the wind, it has toppled several trees and more than likely pulled down quite a bit of power lines. So the power outages here across Middle Tennessee, I haven't even looked at the number yet, but I think we might have the number on that. So I can't quite see that, Chuck. Is there any way that you could? Okay, that works too. Still, hold on, I'm gonna have to get in front of it a little bit. Can't really see that. So we've got in western Williamson County, 4,000 plus. That's where the red dot is. And then all across Williamson County, probably another 2,000 or 3,000. Folks in western Wilson County, anywhere between 1,500 to 4,000 plus. And then in western Rutherford County, probably, I don't know, 3,000 or so, probably more than that. So we are dealing with thousands of power outages here across Middle Tennessee right now. Several of my friends, good friends of mine, have been messaging me saying that their power is out. Let's see here. My buddy Steven, he says that he's got power out in Laverne right now. Let's see here. My buddy David in Murfreesboro, he's got power out, and he lives closer to the MTSU area. So if you know where that is, he's also seeing that. Let me check the National Weather Service. Just the list of damage is just, it's incredible. It just keeps on going. And thankfully, it's not been any injuries. It's mainly just been tree limbs down, some power lines down, things that you would expect when you have a wind event come on through, the usual suspects there. So, yeah, so a lot of power's out right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue. They're going through the 6 o'clock hour now. Let's see here. So we got trees down in Brentwood, a shed blown away near, where was that, Mount Pleasant, I think is what it said. Pleasant View, excuse me, in Cheatham County. Damaging winds now spreading into Hartsville, Watertown, Smith County, and Cannon County. So, okay, let's go back in and check on that. I just can't get over how much lightning is going on in Sumner and Wilson County, and now moving into Trousdale County there in Hartsville. I mean, that is just incredible. 200 lightning strikes plus in this little view right now. I mean, that is a supercharged storm. I mean, just half an hour ago, this portion of the storm only had maybe 50 or 60 lightning strikes on it. It almost quadrupled here in the last half hour or so. So, I mean, what that tells me is there's still plenty of energy over here for these storms to tap into. Okay, so we are not done yet. We're not done by a long shot. We still have probably at least another hour to go before this line finally dies on down. Let me give you some all clears, okay? That we can do that. Dover and Paris, you are back to almost dry conditions, okay? So we've had a lot of rain come through here in the last hour and a half, and now you're back to dry conditions. The roads are going to be wet, and in some of the more rural areas, I know there are a lot of creek crossings in some of those old county public roads, so you're going to have to watch out for those. I know for a fact there's a lot of those in Hickman County. I've been back on a lot of those trails. So same sort of thing. Those small creek crossings might be too high to travel through right now. So if you're trying to get home or if you're trying to get out to go somewhere, keep that in mind. I mean, you live there, so you know more than me, but I'm just saying that those creeks are going to be high for a little bit. Folks back towards Waverly, Camden, Savannah, out towards Jackson. I mean, you're still dealing with a few spotty showers, some heavy rain, but the wind threat, I think, is pretty much done with you for a while. Let's just call it along I-65 and westward. The worst is past you. You still may, depending on where you're at, you still may be dealing with some pretty heavy rainfall and some gusty winds, maybe 30 to 40 miles an hour. But the worst is on this line. It is noticeably breaking up, though, as it's, let's say, this is the kind of the point of Rutherford County, the northeastern edge of Rutherford County. There down towards the south, it's kind of breaking up a little bit, which is good. I want this to go away. I want a quiet Sunday. So let's go back up to here where this ridiculous amount of lightning is. I just can't get over this. This is just crazy. I bet we have several trees be struck by lightning here in this area. Let me turn the lightning off because that is just way too much for the map. Castellan Springs, heavy rainfall. Hartsville there in Trousdale County, very heavy rainfall. Let's switch over and look at the storm threats and see what kind of hail we're talking about now. Because hail was one of the things we were going to have to watch out for. Oops. Let's see here. 2-inch size hail, 1-inch size hail, 1-inch size hail around towards Hunters Point. So we still got some hail in there. In fact, let's do another cross section real quick. I want to see what it looks like in here. Wow. Okay. So what we're looking at here, okay? Let me just find a kind of a good vantage point. There we go. So what we're looking at here are hailstones that are suspended in the top of the storm, okay? So what happens here basically is water is being pushed up by the updraft in a storm. Where the really cold temperatures are up there, below freezing temperatures, those water droplets get into the cold air and it freezes. You get hail. That's how hail's created. So when that hailstone is heavy enough, it'll finally fall to the ground. But if it's not, if the updraft is stronger than the weight of the hailstone, then it's just going to keep going back up, refreezing, blah, 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 and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So the higher up the hail is in a storm usually is a good indicator of a very, very strong updraft, okay? And so we've got a very strong updraft in these storms with a lot of heavy rain, a lot of hail, and some very gusty winds. Alan, do you have some new information for us?
I think I have to turn on my microphone here for a second.
Okay.
It's off. I turned it off because I was on the phone. And
Okay.
I was looking at,
Okay. I think I think he's got it on now.
Hopefully it is on. There it is.
There
It
you
is
go.
on now. I just checked with the NES power outage map just about 3 minutes ago, and that's why I turned off my microphone. I should not have done that, but I did. This is the weather. This is the power outage map, and it shows that there are about 128,000 customers without power right now. So many of you are without power, not able to watch this, unless, of course, you're streaming live on the News4 app, and you should be looking that up right now. An inordinate amount of lightning, as we heard Cody mention just a few minutes ago, and that could probably account for the a high number of power outages in the NES power outage map right now. Some large trees are down, we understand, near Concord Road. Hail, as we heard Cody say just about 10-15 minutes ago, that the hail was, 3 to 5 inches.
That's what the radar
in diameter.
Showing. I never saw any reports, but certainly, I mean, we've got some hail here in Middle Tennessee.
And winds clocked up to 70, 80, sometimes even 90 miles an hour. So it's quite a weather event. Right now, we are out on the roads. This is I-24 heading toward Nashville. This is from Murfreesboro on Donaldson Pike. So right now, let's Joshua Cole's in the car News 4 car right now, and he's on I-24. Looks like pretty heavy rain, but it has let up a little bit in your area.
Hey there, Alan. Yeah, actually, we've gotten to South Nashville now. So now we're on 440 in South Nashville. So we have made it back to the Nashville area, and we're on our way to Lebanon right now, where we've heard about some damage there in that area. So we're going to go check that out for you. But what I really want to talk about right now, and why I'm focusing on the road right now, is the orange roadway cones that are out here on 440. We've driven through several areas here where the wind has blown them into the middle of the highway, and they're kind of, cars are having to dodge and bob and weave between them. So if you are going to be out on the roads, be very careful about where the wind might have moved some of those in the way. We noticed that back in Nashville a little ways ago. So just be very careful as you're driving. Again, the rain has gotten a little bit lighter, but we are still feeling the wind as we're driving. So you're definitely seeing a lot of the wind blowing out here right now. Thankfully, there's a lot less cars out on the highway right now just because of the situation that we're in. That means most people are back in their houses, but still be very, very careful as you're out driving right now because, again, we are still really feeling it. Again, we're on our way to Lebanon right now to check out some of the damage reports that we've gotten that Cody has been telling us about. Alan? Cody?
All right. Thank you. Joshua Cole in Nashville right now. He's on I-24 where it is raining pretty heavily. Now the storms caused some damage as it's passing through the area. The wind associated with the storm was no match for this outbuilding. This is in Dixon, we understand. And look at that. You can barely see that tree in the background. A News 4 viewer sent us these pictures. Heavy rain destroyed a building there. And this is on, I believe, Furnace Hollow Road. And you can send us your weather pictures and videos, but please be safe through the News 4 app. Now, to stay on top of these storms, we ask you to just download the News 4 app. As these storms move through Middle Tennessee, download the News 4 app. You can customize it so you can get only alerts from weather moving through our county. Download it now on Apple and Android devices by searching WSMV. That's simple. It'll keep you safe and keep you safe from the storm. At least you know what's coming your way. Let's head to Cody right now. And Cody, as you mentioned, I mean, this was quite a weather event. It was supposed to be a low-risk storm, and suddenly it just tapped into a whole bunch of energy.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a low chance for tornadoes. We always kind of knew that it was going to be a damaging wind and some hail kind of day for us. We just had a tremendous amount of sunshine out the first half of the day, and that basically just energized the atmosphere. So when this line got to where all the energy was, it just tapped right into it, and thus blossoming just very, very strong thunderstorms here across the mid-state. Now, thankfully, we have not seen a whole lot of tornadic activity. In fact, I've only seen one tornado warning here just in about an hour and a half ago. That was for Henderson and Decatur County. That's long gone. So again, thankfully, this is not going to be a tornadic event. Yes, we still may have an isolated tornado spin up on this line, what's left of it. But the bigger concern for me is the wind and also the lightning. And the lightning's come down a lot here in the last 15 minutes. You remember this portion of the storm had 200 plus lightning strikes on it just about 15 minutes ago. So now it's only down to around, what was that, 100 or so? So that's good news. Right here across Macon, Trousdale, Smith counties, this is where the worst of the winds are. Okay, so let's switch over and let's look at the wind speeds. Oh, let's back that out real quick. Let me get rid of that. And let's kind of plot some wind speeds on here. So we still have 40 to 50, maybe even up to 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gust in these counties, in this portion of the storm, okay? So damaging straight line winds can, in some instances, be worse than an actual low-end tornado. One, because the winds can be stronger, and two, they can just kind of affect a much broader area versus a tornado in some cases being just a small scale area. So again, damaging winds are going to be the main concern. It's right here around Hartsville, Dixon Springs, Hunters Point, Bellwood, Carthage, and Lebanon. Even out towards Gordonsville, still dealing with those gusty winds up to around 50 to 60 miles an hour. So with that being said, let me draw a new track on this, okay? And we'll have this going out to about 45 to 50 miles an hour. So folks around Difficult and Defeated, it's right now pretty much. Folks there in Haydenburg around 540. Baxter and Upperman High School, if you know where that is, around 543. Folks there in Gainsboro, about 545. Jackson County High School around 546, so 20 minutes from now. Out towards Tennessee Tech, near Cookeville, about 550, a little closer to 6 o'clock, so you still got some time there. And Dodson Branch around 550 as well. A lot of power outages, thousands of people with no power right now. So as Alan pointed out, having that News4 app is super handy in this moment because you can download that for free and you can still watch us and get the information even without your power, okay? So that is good. I do want to report that down towards the south, folks in Shelbyville, Manchester, Tullahoma, Fayetteville, you are dealing with just some moderate rainfall. Nothing out of control going on down here. Just to confirm that, let me look at the wind speeds. You might have something going on around 30 to 40 miles an hour, but by far the strongest winds with this storm is in northeast Tennessee, if you will. So that's Macon, Trousdale, Smith counties. Back towards the west, we're still dealing with rain here across Williamson, Hickman, Dixon County. At times heavy rainfall, but the wind speeds, they're not what they were an hour ago. It's still gusty, you know, around 30 to 40 miles an hour, but we're not talking about 70 to 80 mile per hour winds. Alan, do you have any new information for us at all right now, or?
Yeah, well, we're going to go out to Joshua Cole, who is working his way, we understand, to Lebanon, Wilson County, and of course that's right near Trousdale County. And they're the areas, as you mentioned, Cody, that are receiving the heaviest amount of rain right now, and the wind speeds of about 30 to 40 miles an hour. And Joshua should be leaving the Nashville area pretty soon, and he's on his way, I presume, on Interstate 40. And Joshua, can you hear me? Are you out there? What do the conditions look like?
Hey there, Alan. Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Good.
So right now we've just left the Nashville area, so we're about to get into kind of the Mount Juliet area. And then, of course, like you said, we're going to Lebanon. So right now we're going to be checking out some of that wind damage that we've been hearing about. One of those particular places, we're being told that a Thornton's gas station has been hit by some of this wind, and it's kind of ripped off the roof. So again, we're going to go check this out, but that's what we're being told at the moment. I'm going to turn the camera fast. So again, this is, I'm sorry, I got to turn my mic down a little bit. You could see, okay, so right now we're passing what looks like some ambulance and fire trucks going back toward the Nashville area here on I-40. Right now, the rain is just starting to come down, or continuing to come down, and traffic, it's pretty slow out here. Alan, we're going to keep you updated here as we get closer to Lebanon in just a little bit.
And are you still there? Joshua, can you hear me? This, you said a Thornton's gas station. The roof was ripped off the top by straight line winds, I guess.
Yes, yeah. So we're being told that that's the case in the Lebanon area, right off of Highway 109. And so, again, we haven't seen pictures of that just yet, but that's what we're on our way to right now at the moment.
Hopefully there were no customers inside that gas station when those high winds came through. Again, we want to repeat that, about 128,000 NES customers, and they service a wide area, including Wilson County, other counties outside of Davidson County. 128,000 customers, as we look at the outage map right now, are without power. And NES just tweeted out, they're saying that they will be sending crews out to get the power up just as soon as it is safe to do so. Now, the weather has passed over the Nashville area. It's heading eastward right now, and the worst of it is in Wilson County and perhaps Trousdale County, heading it towards Smith County, but hopefully they will soon be sending out some crews to get the power back on. And Cody, as you mentioned, I guess these high winds, these straight line winds, not only knock down toppled trees, but power poles as well. And that's where most of the power outages, that's why most of the power outages have occurred.
Oh, well, you know, Alan, with wind damage, you know, wind and power poles coming down and power outages, they go hand in hand.
Sure.
So, and with a wind event like we've been dealing with here today across Middle Tennessee, it is not surprising to me that we have thousands of people without power. Again, Alan's talked about it, I've talked about it, but if your home tends to lose power all the time and you still want that information, you can get that. Just search for WSMB in your app store and you can download the News4 app, and power out or not, if you got power on your phone, you can watch us still and you can get this information even with no power in your house. So as Alan was just pointing out, we still got some gusty winds in Wilson County. The worst of it is now just moving out of Wilson County, but it's still out towards areas like Macon, Trousdale, and Smith County, okay? So Hartsville, Lafayette, out towards Carthage. We got some really heavy rain. Let's check in on the lightning real quick. Not as many strikes as we had 20 minutes ago, but we still got some really heavy rain and some really gusty winds. This is where the worst of the winds are right now, okay? So let's kind of just see what we're dealing with here since we got some new scans coming in. So we still got winds around 50 to 60 miles an hour, okay? Super strong winds, damaging straight line winds, and you know, the second those make it to the surface, with the ground already being fairly saturated from rain we've seen so far the past couple of weeks, those weak trees, it's not going to take a lot for those to go down. Again, a lot of wind, a lot of rain on the way towards the upper Cumberland Plateau now. Let's get a new track on this. So we just took a little bit of a break for a minute, so we're going to get some new times here. Everything's moving off about 50 miles an hour. All right, so Haydenburg, about 536 now. Jackson County High School, 540. Gainsboro, 540. Center Grove, 543. And Dodson Branch, around 550. TTU, Tennessee Tech, around 550 as well. And that includes the Cookeville area. We'll just kind of bundle those together. So we still got the strongest winds and the heaviest rain working through these areas here in the next 30 minutes. Switching back over, I just want to show you all of the watches and warnings that we have. And we still have a long line of severe thunderstorm warnings. And now, oh, look at that. There we go. We've got a tornado warning. So we just got a brand new tornado warning. That came out just a minute ago? Yeah, so just a few minutes ago. Let's see here. With difficult weakening, but we will watch it a bit longer. Okay, that's good. So without even looking at this, again, the tornado threat today has been very low, thankfully, but it was never zero. Okay. Yes, we have a tornado warning right now. That tornado warning goes until 6 p.m. And this is for the corners of Macon, Trousdale. Actually, I don't think Trousdale. Nope, Trousdale's not in it. Macon, Smith, and that's bleeding into Clay and Jackson counties. Okay, so again, so this is the area of circulation that we are seeing right now. It's in between Gum Springs and Haydenburg. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to do what I normally like to. Let me get the lightning strikes off of there. It's distracting. What I like to do is I like to go back in time about 20 minutes and just to kind of see how it evolved. So you can see there right now, Dixon Springs, Pleasant Shade. This is at 5:20, so this is 15 minutes ago, but it started to tighten up there. Okay, and so here it is now. So again, it's very, very broad rotation, but it's enough to prompt a tornado warning. So folks there in Haydenburg, it is an extremely recommended idea for you to get to your safe spot right now. In fact, let me draw a track out. Now, Salina and Pea Ridge, they're not included in this tornado warning, but they will get roped into my track box that I'm about to draw, okay? So I'm going to draw it from that circulation, moving off towards the east-northeast at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. So here we go. All right. So we've got Whitleyville around 546. That's when this circulation will be over you. Jackson County High School around 548. Folks around Clay County High School and Salina right there at 6 o'clock. Hillam, 605 or so. Holly Springs, 607. Pea Ridge, Allens, and Livingston between about 605 to 615. That this will start to move in to you. So again, here's kind of the, let me clear this track out of here. Here's kind of the circulation that we're watching right now, okay? It's right there. And it's moving off that way, towards the east-northeast, okay? So we'll kind of just hang out on this for a second. Let me do a deep dive, and I just want to like label some communities out here. Goosehorn, this is right over you. North Springs, this is going to be over you in the next 2 minutes or so. Whitleyville, it'll be probably about 4 or 5 minutes that this moves into you, okay? But again, this is kind of the general area of the circulation. So we just got a brand new update, new scan there, so some new information. So now it's moving a little closer to North Springs. Again, this is where the general area of circulation is. So if you're in Haydenburg right now, please get to your safe spot. Yeah, so that is our only tornado warning that goes until 6 o'clock. So that goes for another 20 minutes. Let me just double check to make sure we're not missing any other ones. Okay, we're good. So it's just that one right now. And again, that is for Clay, Jackson, Macon, and Smith counties. And this goes until 6 p.m. But you can see the tornado warning is embedded inside of a severe thunderstorm warning. So things are getting a little tricky. So again, we still got a lot of heavy rainfall in these areas. Probably still dealing with some hail. So there's our hail path here for the last hour. It showed signs that this storm did put down some hail. Let's see what the storm threats look like. So this is probably going to tell me winds of at least 50 plus. So, okay, it's showing me hail. I bet that's a little bigger. Yep, 1 inch size hail around Gainsboro right now. Let me switch back over to the wind speeds. So we still got these 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts in these areas. So this is the worst of the storm, of this entire band, the entire line of storms moving on through. That's kind of where the worst is right now, up here, the upper Cumberland Plateau, okay? We'll dive back into that in just a second. What I am starting to notice is, look at this. We've got more severe storms firing back up to the west in areas that already saw severe storms today, and now they're starting to move back in. So this is just a touch out of our viewing area, but we've got another severe thunderstorm warning for folks in Trenton, Milan, and Humboldt. That goes until 6:15. We'll keep checking back on that one. Hey, Billy. Yeah, Alan, do you have any updates for us real quick? So that way I can chat with Billy for a second.
All right,
We understand we're going to go to Joshua as he makes his way closer and closer to Wilson County, which that area really picked up some high winds over the past 15, 20 minutes, past half hour or so. And we understand that a Thornton's gas station had the roof ripped off of it as those winds and as that storm system passed through. Joshua, can you hear me right now? Where are you? There you are.
Hey there, Alan. Yeah, we are actually getting off the exit right now from I-40 here into Lebanon. We're getting really close to that Thornton's gas station that you were just mentioning a second ago. So we're going to be there in about 2 minutes. So I'm sure we're going to come back to me as soon as we arrive there. If we do, toss back to you here in just a moment. But just right now, to reiterate, as people are driving, I'm sorry, I'm going to turn my mic down there. You know, people are driving a lot slower here on the highway, and it looks like here in the distance you might actually be able to see some of that damage there up here on the right. Here's my finger there. It's going to be right up here that we're going to be approaching here in just a moment. You know, there's still a lot of rain coming down. The wind is still really gusty. I was just talking with my photographer, Alex. He was saying that, you know, he's feeling that steering wheel really be pushed around. Okay, we're approaching that Thornton's right now, and you can see some of the damage there. An ambulance here is pulling out, so it might not be as bad. It looks like this might have been some construction that was being done that someone called in, but, you know, oh, actually, no, as we're turning around here, you could see how this fell apart. Okay, and you're driving up with me as you're seeing this for the first time with myself as well. So you can see just how strong some of these winds are coming through here, how the roof of the gas pumps here started to come off. It looks like there's someone out here, so we're going to get out and talk to them here in just a moment. But Alan, you know, this is what we're going to start seeing a lot of, that wind that Cody was talking about, the storms that push through. We're going to start seeing some more of these damage reports really start to come through.
Yeah, that roof that you're talking about looks very tenuous. And do they have any power there right now? Because hopefully those pumps have been turned off. That could be very dangerous if that roof suddenly collapses on top of those pumps. But do you see any electricity, any power off in that area, Joshua?
In the distance,
right.
It looks like there is still some power to the area. But I can't, just from where we're sitting, it does not look like the intersection that's ahead of here is working. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not in a very good position to see the lights, but it looks like maybe this particular business might not have power. But in general, in the area, it looks like most people do still have power.
Yeah, but that area, that Thornton's gas station, I'm not saying hopefully, but if there's no power, that's a good thing, because those gas pumps, it could be very dangerous if that roof suddenly collapses on top of it. So let's hope that doesn't happen, but I'm sure the first responders will be keeping a very close eye on that. We've had a low possibility of tornadoes, but we've had 2 tornado warnings. One just popped up, I guess, in the past 10, 12 minutes or so. And on your screen right now, you see the power outage map for NES. And the last time I looked, about 15, 20 minutes ago, 128,000 customers were without power in the service area, the area that NES services, and they service a few counties outside of Davidson County as well. So they service a pretty wide swath of Middle Tennessee right now. And as you can see, they're working on it. NES says that they're going to send crews out to get the power on to you as soon as possible when it is safe to do so. Now, there is some light rain right now. There is some light rain falling right now in Davidson County, so hopefully they have crews out right now to hopefully get that power back on. As you see on your screen, Clay, Jackson, Macon, and Smith counties are all in a tornado warning. No, I'm getting the all clear for that area. Clay, Jackson, Macon, and Smith County in the clear. Boom, we just erased it off the screen. Here's the things to do if there is a tornado warning in your area, and you should do it fast. And again, there are no tornado warnings right now, but it's nice to know. Take cover, stay away from windows, please, and go to the innermost part of your house with the most walls that surround you. And that's how you can keep you and your family safe. And of course, download the News4 app or a NOAA weather radio. That's always handy to have as well, along with the News4 app, so you can stream our newscast should power go out, as we're seeing right now with about 128,000 customers out. And that's not including the other utilities in the area that service a wide area of the mid-states. So a lot of power outages right now to talk about. And Cody, the good thing about the storm, you said it's moving at about 45, 15 miles an hour
Yeah,
in
so
the eastward direction.
It's moving out of here, Alan, and that's good news. But unfortunately, it looks like back towards the west, we've got more storms trying to fire up. So we're not out of the woods just yet. We'll keep a close eye on these storms as they move on through. But since we don't have any tornado warnings any longer here across the mid-state, we're going to send it back to Nightly News here in just a few moments. But again, we still have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out towards the north and the east. Folks up there towards Salina, you're going to start to see some really, really gusty winds move through any moment now. So make note there. Don't forget, you can always download the free News4 app to track these storms yourself. To search for WSMB in your app store. Again, folks, if we get a new warning, a new tornado warning, I'll be back to track that for you. But in the meantime, let's send it back to Nightly News.